Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 60. My name's Brad, and I'm here with the core team. Your host tonight, as always, a fantastic leader, Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Coach Brad. Did you say 60?
Big 6-0.
Whoa, let's go. That is super bullish. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's podcast. It is number 60. My name is Atlas, and this is ARK. We are really just one day before ending 2022. It's been a crazy year, guys. But we're looking forward to a better, much more improved, more sustainable, full of abundance and earnings here at ARK 2023, regardless of what's happening outside in the world, what Bitcoin's doing, what Michael Saylor might be saying, what color pajamas Vitalik Albuterin might be wearing on stage in Dubai or anywhere else in the world. We are not really concerned with that, guys. We're concerned with what we're doing here, what we can control, our price stability, our sustainable rate of return, having a fantastic community, growing, thriving, crossing over to the real world, bringing new investors, educating folks that have never been into DeFi, because it's no secret. DeFi is failing, and DeFi is winning. And we want to be a part of that growth. We want to be ahead as we understand that crypto isn't going anywhere. I'm pretty sure we're in a cycle. I've heard a couple people say this. I don't know where I heard it first or last. But the saying is, first they will ignore you, then they will laugh at you, then they will fight you, and then you win. I think we're going through the cycle of the fight. And we're ready for that. Looking forward to regulation, how that whole thing's going to play out, and do it in a smart way. Make sure that we're protected, that we're able to make our investments, and that we're able to have our autonomy, anonymity, and really manage our investments in the fashion that we see fit. That's why we're here. So with that, let's go do some updates, guys, from Mr. Brett Norden. We are going to have a very short podcast because in about 38 minutes, we'll be heading over to our Discord for poker night. Go right ahead, Mr. Norden.
Every time I hear you say we're going to have a short one, it goes like 6 hours. So.
That's so true.
I know. Just some maybe some general updates. I think we had a couple people with concerns about CWR today, just in the tech chat, and I just want to give kind of a high level view of CWR real quick and just talk about effective strategies and things like that. I think one of the things we've been pushing since the beginning, our recommendation is always to use the percentage sliders. So for example, if you're doing the 1.33, you're going to slide to the 57% compound and the 43% withdraw. If you don't have a legacy NFT and you want to stay at that 1.33 level, that's a real safe way to play your investment. We had some people that were, compounding 100% of the time. And at around day 12, let's say if you had a legacy NFT, your maximum is 13 with 13 compounds and 1 withdrawal in a 14-day cycle. But at about day 12, if you've been 100% compounding, you have 2 days basically at a 1.0 in your 14-day schedule, plus 12 100% compounds. So that's really a 13-1 if you did the math on it. So just be cognizant and aware that when you start out at a 1.0, that those first couple weeks are going to be different until you get to that CWR level. Some other people on the auto allocation side were trying to use the 1.5 CWR auto allocation schedule, but they had already compounded 100%, for example. So when they get to about day, 10 or 11, they're going to hit that 1.5 ceiling and then the system will automatically withdraw 100%. So we ran into a few of those. We also had a gentleman who was our first to hit the 0.75 CWR, and he was penalized down to 0.5. I think he was trying to run kind of the hairy edge on that, and he was surprised when he fell down to the 0.5. I'm not sure why he was risking it, but maybe he had personal reasons for needing to get additional withdrawals. But stay conservative. If you're new to the protocol and not that familiar with CWR and not watching it super close, you can hit those limits. On the upper limit, it's benign. Nothing really happens. You just have to make a withdrawal. On the lower limit, if you do drop below the 0.75, this particular gentleman actually dropped to the 0.749. I think, if you just time it wrong and you're trying to get that extra, squeeze that extra little compound out or withdraw out, and the transaction goes through 10 seconds later or something like that, you could see that kind of drift in the amount of available rewards that you're withdrawing over, a 10-second period. It could drop you down below that 0.75 level. So, stay safe, at least a 1.0. And most people, I think, are following at least a 1.33 or a 1.5 in the beginning to try to boost that, boost their principal balance up a little bit more. And it definitely, if you have any questions about that, hit us up in the tech support chat based on where you are. There are also critical warnings when you do get close to that CWR level and you're about to make that allocation. There is an estimate that shows on the allocation button. And if it's below the 0.75, it will pop up and say, if you take this action, you run the risk of dropping below that 0.75 level and reducing your daily ROI to 0.5. So we do have some safeguards in place, but that doesn't necessarily prevent people from doing anything. They can still follow that action. So we don't prevent them from doing the action. We just warn them about it. So if you're following kind of a daily routine where you're doing 100% compound or 100% withdrawal the next day, you're going to have to keep track of, the time that you've spent or has been, taken off the timer every day. And if you're not waiting for it to expire every day and you're doing it a little bit shorter every day, those can add up over time. And so you just need to watch that CWR, and we recommend doing the 5743 or the 50/50 or the 60/40 in a single allocation transaction. It'll just keep you on the safe side of things. And to me, it's just a lot easier because you don't have to worry about when you show up to the rewards timer. So that's just kind of a little bit of a heads up, I would say, for the community, that we're running into those 14 days now. And so people are starting to reach those limits in certain cases. And if you were doing some 100% allocations in the beginning, whether it was a withdrawal or a compound, just be aware of where your CWR is and watch out for those warnings. And if you're not close to any limits, you have nothing to worry about. So if there's any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, can't think of anything else that needs to be addressed.
All right. Thank you, Brett. And look, a great point. I'm going to post here for those that are here live on the chat a very important message that we should all pay attention to. And this is the warning that will come before you drop below the 0.75. I mean, it's very clear: compound withdrawal ratio, CWR, warning.
I'm warning you.
Okay. Critical daily rewards percentage. By proceeding this action, your compound withdrawal ratio will probably go below the 0.75. This means that your daily rewards percentage will become 0.5% permanently. No. If you see this, guys, back away, do a compound. Do not push it to the limit. We've had our first person. We haven't, been, it's pretty much 2 weeks. and a person pushed it to the limit. And we don't want any of you to encounter. Excuse me? Did someone say something?
The screen didn't change. I wondered, were you thinking that something was going to show up on the screen?
It's in the it's in the main chat.
Oh, thanks.
It's in the main chat, sir. Yes, thank you for clarifying that. So this person knew what they were doing. I mean, they speak another language, but they also speak English. There is no excuse. And what we're trying to tell you guys here is this, that's there for a reason, to protect you. And if you fail to heed that warning, then you have no one to blame but yourself, and we don't want to hear you crying later. Okay? This is serious business. Now, the person, it's not like they completely destroyed their investment, or we're throwing them overboard and leaving them behind. They are going to continue to be able to follow their investment. They're going to have to go a lot slower. However, it's a big difference, 0.5 to 2% daily. So the first person already messed that up.
Well, I think, and the other thing is, so now, there is no withdrawal limit now, so they could, 100% withdraw out to the 300% of whatever their principal balance is, but it's just going to be at that 0.5 rate. So if they, wanted to take some of those profits out, they'll at least get 3x of what their principal balance is over time. And they could take that to another wallet where they continue a different strategy if they really did make a mistake. But yeah, we have that limit there for a reason. It's so people can't drain off at a high percentage rate and then, get a quick double or something like that and run. That's why we have that 0.75 limit there. It is strict. There's no recovering. So yeah, just be careful.
And with that, congratulations to the winner of the jackpot tonight. We had to pull the trigger before the 20-minute timeout between the transactions on the hardware wallets. And the winner is ending in 6862. If that is you, congratulations for your win. It's 125.94 ARK. Let's get this crypto.
Yeah, let's get this crypto. Daddy.
Oh, god damn. Oh, yeah, let's get this crypto.
Florida Realtor, is it you again?
No, it's not me. I was just logging in to check and see if it was anybody in my downline on that end. So, which would be just as exciting as winning it, man. If you have somebody, that you had recommended that they invest into ARK, and it would just be a nice little bonus for them this early in the game to get them ahead of their investment for sure. So, but hopefully somebody will come on and share their excitement before the end of the podcast this evening. It'd be a nice little surprise.
Absolutely. Great surprise. So,
I'm still excited about winning it yesterday.
You're on a roll, man. Absolutely. Great way to start the year with a spark reward.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can say that I've won a Spark Award every year, because I won it in 2022, and there's a really good chance that I could win it next year in 2023 as well. So that's my goal for next year as well. One of my goals.
Did you have a chance to check out Catalyst's article with the chat AI regarding the chances of winning?
I did. I looked at it, and man, I tell you what, that's extremely extensive. I had to actually kind of go in and take it and send it back to the open to the AI and tell them to explain it in layman terms. It was pretty detailed, or almost send it to Brett and say, Brett, can you decipher this for me? On that end, just all the little calculation stuff. But what I did get, that we all have a very big chance of winning this. I mean, the odds are good in your favor. Even better if you have multiple wallets with just a bond or an Ellis or a legacy LC, NFT in there. So they're great odds at the beginning here on that end. So it's a big deal, really a big deal.
Currently, to date, excluding any other competitions, the Spark reward pool has paid out on today's price, and it has been higher, $7,130. That is fantastic.
Absolutely. No doubts about it. Mr. Chris Dugan in the house. How are you, sir? Welcome to the podcast tonight.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Very good.
I've been emptying a storage unit today.
Ooh. Well, that sounds awful.
Not really. But I've got it done, and everything that I had over there that I was storing for somebody else, I'm headed to their house.
You better get on and check to see if you've won, Chris. My team want that 25 ARK, bro.
Yeah, I have not. I haven't been on my phone at all today. I'll have to do it in a little bit when I'm not driving.
Yeah, of course.
But would love to win it.
Hey, sorry guys, sending a DM there. So, Mr. Z, are you there?
How's it going, Atlas?
Great. Doing really good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, no, been really good. It's back to Europe, back to learning what's leveling up in DeFi, looking at total value locked and all those technical things, trading, everything's pretty exciting to end the year. But enjoying life as well. Enjoying seeing these Spark rewards being awarded. I get excited every night for folks to win. and it's been pretty exciting to see Realtor, to see Brad and co, like, get a chance at it. It's a small, you can say, pool for now. And people have good chances of winning. So that's been pretty exciting. And everything, man, like, it's a bearish market. And for us to be coping the way we are, we're going into the new year with like a lovely roadmap and a lot of cool things to happen. So we're going to have some fun with the fans today and sort of play some poker and hopefully make these things a regular thing and have a great podcast, have great AMAs. Yeah, we have some AMAs coming up, so I'm looking forward to it. A good start to the year already.
Absolutely. So you got a good plan for us tonight over there at the Discord?
Yeah, I'll be the official. I'll be the guy shuffling the cards and setting up the tables. I need to get my bow tie and my shirt ready. Because we're gonna have fun. Like, this is the thing is that, listen, yeah, like crypto and DeFi is game theory, and people just got to play some games to like enjoy the rules, and that's what these staking pods are. That's what these dApps are all about. And we're gonna start that. We're gonna play a bunch of games.
That's very true, my friend. Very, very true.
Should I go around some headlines I was going to talk about yesterday?
Yes, but before you do, Mr. Callis has pointed out to us tonight a very important milestone. The total legacy NFT rewards have crossed over $20,000 in disbursements last night.
Oh, wow.
That is... Sheesh.
That's a milestone. That's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you, Catalyst, for pointing that out to us, man. The man has his
You
pulse
are welcome, sir.
on the vein. You know exactly what's happening here all the time, and he's got an amazing mind that's able to really see all of these great variables. Honor to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome work, man. It's so much fun to see your Medium articles, man. Like just the recaps, they are amazing. I know what AI you're working with, man. This is beautiful stuff. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you, Z. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
An absolute
Florida
blessing.
Realtor, thank you for the feedback on the article. I almost thought about running it or asking the chat AI to rewrite it at a different level, but I was so fascinated with what it put out. I just wanted to get it out, and I posted it as is. But that's good feedback. Thank you.
Hey, Catalyst, I was going to ask you too. Now you had mentioned in there that you had inputted some data to help the chat person come up with those statistics. How did you give them some information like that?
When you ask it to write an article or an essay or whatever, you follow up your request in the same dialog box with some training metrics or whatever you want to let it. If you've got facts that are important for what you're asking it to do, then you need to supply those facts. So my request wasn't simply write an article and give the returns. It was, I had to tell it all of the metrics. I had to say how many days we were into the contest, what the last 3 prize pools were, how it's paid. If you're interested, I can send you my request. Again, it's about a paragraph long, and it's pretty detailed. And it's kind of funny as you're writing the request and the details. That in itself almost became the article. I mean, not really. I think my paragraph was turned into a 6-minute read. So it's still a huge time saver, but you do have to supply it the metrics. How many wallets are there? How many qualifying wallets through legacy NFTs have qualified? How many wallets have qualified through holding $250 worth of bond? And then I made an assumption of there are some wallets out there. I have a team member on my syndicate who is a legacy NFT holder, but she also holds in the same wallet 250 bond. So there's a small percentages of wallets that are like that. So I just assumed a 5% overlap. That number was a guess. It was an assumption. If anyone wants to take a stab at, or wants to give me an idea of what they think the overlap might be, we could even, zero it in even more. But, for the sake of discussion, I think the point was made that on any given day, we have a 0.25% chance of winning. Any qualifying wallet has a 0.25% chance of winning the prize pool on any given day, which is the odds are 1 in 400. When we were theorizing the other day, just doing some back of the napkin calculations, we were thinking it was somewhere around 1 in 500, or maybe even 1 in a little bit more than 500. But we knew that was worst case scenario. We knew it could only be better than 1 in 500. And after having it do all the math, which any one of us could have also done, but it's just easier to let the chat AI do the math. It was really interesting to see it come out to be 1 in 400 chance instead of 1 in 500. That's a big difference. So, then that got me thinking, well, all I got to do is get, 2 or 3 more wallets here, and now my odds will be 1 in 100. So, do with it what you will. It is a moving target, as it's been discussed many times on the pod. The number of qualifying wallets are going to continue to increase. the amount of the prize pools will vary on a daily basis. But it was a fun exercise, and it addressed the question that a lot of people were asking. Well, what are our odds of winning? So as of right now, we know pretty close.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's good stuff for sure. I mean, definitely good information. I appreciate you taking the time and putting that in, and send me that information, because I've been playing with that chat AI myself, and I think we're on the same one. It's at the chat.openai.com where you type in something, whatever, and it brings it up as, okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. It's amazing what that can do. I typed in something and then I started asking it more detail. And as I started asking more detail, it actually completed the exact task that I wanted it to do laid out for me. I just asked it to write a short little Python script about something, requesting some information off the Binance Smart Chain network. And it wrote out the code, the script for me to do that, and told me where to go and everything on that end. So, I mean, it was really, it's really fun to play with on that end. So good stuff.
Yep.
I appreciate you, man. Always keeping us up to date on that.
And Catalyst, can I ask about the picture? How did you do the picture?
So I didn't use Chat AI for that. I mean, the Chat GPT have a number of tools available, or OpenAI, I should say, have various AI tools available to them, or that they provide. But I used Canva. Actually, Canva has an app. I use Canva for all my Medium articles. You've probably noticed by now that I always include a photo at the top of the article. That photo becomes a thumbnail. It just helps with catching people's attention. I'm a fan of Canva for creating my graphics, customizing graphics. But the other day, a few weeks ago, I noticed they had an application that will take text, a textual description, and that will use AI to generate an image. And the more text you give it to describe what it is you want, the better the result you'll have. But I was in a hurry last night, and I just said, give me a picture of a chat bot making rewards or something like that. I don't know. It was pretty brief because I just wanted to get the article out.
Yeah.
So that was made through Canva, if you're familiar with that tool.
Fantastic. It's great. I think it's super cute. Nice work, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, don't forget to it's pinned, it's in our announcements. Don't forget to clap up and follow Catalyst. Absolutely amazing articles. If you want to learn more about ARK, I can tell you a better place to go and get that information. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Atlas. Thank you for that.
So, Mr. Z, the floor is yours. Let's talk DeFi. Let's have a conversation. And I think we got 12 minutes left before we head over to the Discord. So it's all yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's share my screen just real quick. Just give me a second. I'm loving the music, dude. The music is really, really soothing.
Fantastic. That's the mood here, guys. Calm, cool, and collected on board the ARK.
Absolutely. So yeah, as long as you guys can see the screen, I'm gonna go over some things. So any sort of article that I talk about or comment on, realize you can go to Discord and go into the Crypto Streets category. You find DeFi links there, and then you get all my links just up there, and then we can sort of talk about it. We can like it, dislike it, debate it, have fun with it, but speculate, right? That's what we do in our research. So one thing that I've been kind of speculating about is this article that just came out. So it reads out, Bitcoin's price would surge past $600,000 if hard asset matches gold. So what happened was, I'm going to give you guys a bit of history. So in the 1970s, gold depegged away from the dollar. I think we were going through the Nixon era back then, and maybe Atlas and others that were like sort of older than me understand those times a little bit better. But the brief scenario was that dollar was sort of backed by gold, And what happened was the dollar was depegged by gold and sort of went for a petrodollar and other sort of asset classes. And that depegging of gold actually created something sensational. So what happened was gold went from at that time $43 and then just went up there. So like till you can say 98, from 1970 to 98, we went from $43 to $360. And then as we sort of saw more interest rates and inflation happen to our economy, we have seen gold's price go up quite a bit, right? It went from $46 in 1971, all the way back there, all the way up to, you can say, 1,100, right? What's the price right now? 1,800. So gold's price went up quite a bit, right? A few X's. And this happens when you have an economy, right? It's the economy sort of environment that creates these sorts of opportunities where something like gold goes from $43. There's high inflation, high interest rates, and like people need a better backing. They need something that has a limited supply, and something like gold gave that opportunity. And people would use gold up till this day. We use it as a divergence to compare with, you can say, the dollar index or other assets like the Nasdaq. So gold has been, we can say, for example, has gone up quite a bit, right? At one point it touched 2071 all-time high. We feel the same thing can happen with Bitcoin now as interest rates go up, because it's the hardest money that we have right now. So I'm going to read a little bit from this article, and then we can sort of talk about this. So Bitcoin do big moves and more in 2020s. Despite the price being 80% below, we know that. We think that gold, as the world's premier safe haven, right? Gold saw huge gains during the decade of 50 years, and 50 years later, it is Bitcoin's turn. So we believe that after gold, Bitcoin would be that asset class that basically gets more interest and finds more use case. So there's, you can say, ways Bitcoin can reach that. It can have more, like one thing I like about Bitcoin recently is you have a bunch of DeFi projects that make a bunch of use case for it, for transaction use, for proof of stake, for other things. So this is what the statement says. So there are many other attributes that make Bitcoin stand out from gold, such as equitable decentralization, ability to transfer instantaneously, and be used for micro payments. That's what Bitcoin is supposed to be, a place to make micro payments. So Bitcoin has much more utility than gold does. So we believe that, this could be the asset class that goes up and does a 20, 30x from here. So could Bitcoin one day, we were close to coming to 70, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 maybe if we didn't hike up interest rates the way we did. So could Bitcoin do a 6x from there? That's the speculation I'm going to leave you guys with, because I think that's something to think about. What do you think, Atlas, if you don't mind me asking? Could Bitcoin do what gold did?
No, we've known this for a very long time, right? It's just a matter of having, I think, the patience and the vision, and not buying those tops. You know what I mean? If you can ride that roller coaster, Brett has it down. If you just look at the lunar cycles on the chart, that's a pretty good indicator right there. So the slow hodling, strategy works. You just have to, like anything, be at the chart at the right time and know when to get out.
Yeah. So this is something we can kind of think about now a little bit going into the next year, right? Some goals for cryptocurrency overall. We want a more fast-paced Bitcoin that's used over DeFi protocol, and everything pumps, right? So if Bitcoin goes up, let's say 20, 30x from here, we expect DeFi to go 100 to 200 to 300x from there, because of its utility, because of its use case, because of people adapting to it. So I think Ethereum could sort of be another $100,000 coin If Bitcoin can hit like 500-600, maybe 1 million, right? Ethereum is going to be up there, and so is BNB, and so is other tokens that are doing the right projects, doing the right utility work in the roadmaps. So that's something to look forward to, because I think right now what happens is people are so in the sort of craze as SBF and what's happening at the current storms that they don't realize that they are sitting on some real good potential. And this is the kind of information we have to do. Invest smartly, get into the bear market in the right sort of price action. But overall, there are some folks like bankers and other people that own asset classes, like when they hold Bitcoin, they lock it up and they don't see it for 5 years, for 10 years, 20 years. That's the way you gotta sometimes see these things, because they can really catch fire. And then you have some great stories to tell your grandparents and then grandchildren, your nephews, your nieces, that, hey guys, I was there when I bought Bitcoin for 10,000 or 12,000, and now it's worth 300,000, 400,000. Same thing with Ethereum, same thing with others. So I'm glad that we're just at the peak of these sort of things going to happen. I mean, if BNB and BUSD gets more strengthened, then that means ARK does another 30-50x. So these are things that have potential, and they will, man, because it is the future. It's the way utility runs. So that's something on my mind right now, to, as January comes, to talk about projects like, you can say, Chainlink, right? Talk about things like Trust Swap, because these are things that hold huge utility in DeFi, right? Polygon. These are things that we have to really understand, right? Because these are the ones that have the most technology back in them, the most developers behind them. And whenever one sort of tree falls, all their development, all the roots go and get taken as nutrition for projects like Polygon, for things. So like when we saw drops in FTX, a bunch of their developers have been recruited. A ton of Luna developers were recruited from Polygon and Solana and stuff. So this is my sort of attribute. I mean, like all year round, I think I gave you headlines of the opinions. And today I'm sort of showing you some projects that might, if we partner with, if we work with, and we invest with or buy dips on, they can do us wonders. So yeah, another project like Engine, right? These are the kind of projects that have real utility. And as we see their roadmaps grow, as we see, right, trusted by Microsoft, by the huge guns, right? We're going to see big things happen here. And so I'm looking forward to the year. The price action doesn't mean nothing to me in the long run of things. And we're going to be part of it, man. Look at this: Engine, Polygon, Ethereum. Right now, Solana is something I like. I have to think about a little bit and see how they bounce from here, right? Solana's price right now is about $9-10, I believe. So yeah.
Hey Z, I've got a question for you. You'd mentioned about Bitcoin comparing to gold and things. Litecoin. What's going on with Litecoin? I mean, Litecoin was a fork of Bitcoin. I mean, it's pretty much like Bitcoin, but just a lot faster and has some different type of utility and different algorithms and stuff. And it's more of a decentralized process. And it was, it's been out for like 12 years now, Litecoin. Is that something? Is it just not taking off, or is it just something on the back burner right now?
Yeah, I mean, down to it, like with Litecoin, did they work and create their own mainnet? Right? Did they go and make the partnerships that you would think they could do? Right? Like other projects have, like Solana really did, like Polygon Matic did, like Ethereum did. Litecoin is still up there. It's how much is it worth? Like $56, and they have good utility. It's not like so. Would I put Litecoin above and beyond and buy the dips on? I do have a small bag of Litecoin. but not. I think maybe 3% of the portfolio. I'm more like, but yeah, I do have my eyes on Litecoin. So one Litecoin is how much? $87. Amazing.
I was just curious. I've heard you talk about that, and that's just so that's really that's a truth work of Bitcoin, and I just didn't know if there was something about that I wasn't aware of. I didn't read or anything, but cool. Always appreciate your input, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. I'll look into Litecoin a little bit. I'll see what their mainnet. Do they have a mainnet? How are they working with NFTs? Those are like now you've left me in a little research rabbit hole, and then I'll come back to you and say something about Litecoin. It's gonna be fun. Awesome.
And I got a buddy that's an ex-banker, and he put everything into Litecoin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking here maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Amazing.
He's holding on. He's probably still holding it. Just loves it.
Absolutely.
Wow. But it's time for the Discord, and there was a gentleman here. He just left. He was some ace. Did you guys notice? Yeah, there was somebody here. I think he came for the game. Heard about it somewhere. Hopefully he comes back before we leave. All right. Well, guys, let's go ahead and let's first close off the recording. Let me say tomorrow we're going to be doing a private AMA with a group of the gentleman that was here a couple nights ago in the podcast, Mystic, and his private investor group. And we've got a lot of stuff lined up next week. A lot of things lined up that we're going to go into more detail tomorrow. But it's going to be a big, marketing push, AMAs, and some really cool videos coming out. The PWA is looking amazing. Mobile app. There's a lot of heat that's being created here, guys. So I can't wait for next week and unveiling all that. So we want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Hope that you enjoyed the updates. Hope that you heed the warning. Brett went into a lot of detail as to how to really manage your investment without pushing it to the limit. Because if you do that, if you ignore the warnings, we don't want that to happen to any investor here. So, it's better to be conservative and sit back. I know folks sometimes want to squeeze every last little penny out of something, but that can be a dangerous game. We have parameters in place to ensure the safety of all the investors here. We're making a long-term investment, and we have to respect that, and we have to put those parameters in place to make sure that the liquidity doesn't get drained, and we're all playing the same game. So that's there for punishing folks that want to abuse the system. And I know sometimes people don't have that intention, but they just have that degen mentality where they just want to push it to the edge and not heed warnings. And unfortunately, that is something that's going to be slowing you down quite a lot. It won't get you off the arc, but it'll slow you down. So, guys, please pay attention to that. Really important. We don't want to see anybody be put in that situation through their own negative actions. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. UTC. We're going to go play a little bit of poker in the Discord server. And if you're not a member of the Discord server, please make sure go ahead and join, because we're going to spend some time there and growing that community. Also, I think it's January 3rd or the 4th, we're going to have a Discord AMA with a fantastic group of investors. They love ARK, and they're begging for us to go over there. So we're going to go into more detail on that tomorrow night. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Have a great night.